Yo, what's going on? If you want to get bigger arms, people always ask me the same question, how do you get bigger arms? Why are your arms so big? Why do you have massive biceps? To me, it's always come really intuitively, it's always come really naturally. But I'm going to share with you everything that I know and how I can help you get your arms to be jacked as well. So tip number one, do your back movements, do your pull movements, do your rows and your pull downs with maximum intensity, with high volumes and high rep sets. Listen, there's this concept called the muscle curve. I'm not a scientist, so I can't explain it exactly, but basically what it means is that different parts of the muscle are activated differently throughout different parts of the movement. So essentially, a bicep curl does not fully activate your biceps properly. The muscle curve is a good explanation as to why you see a lot of pro bodybuilders and professional weightlifters using a lot of momentum when it comes to certain back movements. So for that same reason, we need to understand that bicep curls, while they are good at isolating biceps, do not fully target all of the biceps as we want to. In order to do this, we need to do rows, we need to do pull downs, pull-ups. These different back exercises force us to use our biceps in ways that a curl won't be able to. Some tips: make sure you're going with maximum intensity. Go for higher rep sets. Make sure you're doing higher rep sets even on the compound movements. Use narrow grips. Narrow grips tend to have more bicep activation compared to wider grips. If you find that you're having trouble with wide grip pull downs, try with a narrower grip. Try even reverse grip. You might be surprised with the results. For 4 to 5 months, I was on a bulk and my arms were the biggest they've ever been, but I did not hit biceps directly one time. I never isolated and did bicep curls once during that time because I was doing so many rows, so many pull-ups, so many pull-downs. I was doing so many back exercises. My biceps were fully stimulated because of these. So make sure you're doing your back movement seriously. Make sure you take these to the next level if you want to see your biceps grow. Bro, tip number 2, lower your weight and control your movement. So did you know you can actually do a bicep curl without really activating your biceps that much at all? Look, I'll show you. Where's my phone? I'm gonna take my phone. See, look, I'm gonna curl my phone. I didn't use my bicep to do that. I did a little bit, but dude, I used my elbow momentum from swinging my body forward plus my front delt. I just did it like that. That's how a lot of people do their bicep curls. What you want to do is you want to actually create a mind-muscle connection so that you're activating your biceps all the way up and then you're moving it all the way down again, completely activated. And so basically the tension is always maintained throughout the set. Go up and go down. And when you come up, I want you to squeeze at the top. You kind of lock it in. If you watch me do a set, maybe I'll put a video up right now. At the top of each rep, I'm kind of locking it in. It's almost like, when you're doing the bench press, they tell you to lock out, right? It's like locking in, you squeeze it in at the top. So that way you get the full contraction. That's really going to stimulate growth as well. And make sure you don't leave any gains on the table. But yeah, definitely lower your weight as well. I see a lot of people doing weights that are too heavy. Yes, you can complete a rep. That doesn't mean that that weight is actually adequate for you. The point of a bicep curl isn't to do as much weight as you can. It's to stimulate your biceps as much as you can. So make sure you find a weight where, yeah, it's challenging, but you can still control it all the way up and all the way down. Also, you want to be able to hit this weight for about 10 to 12 reps at least. You want to be doing higher rep sets, especially when it comes to accessories like bicep curls. You don't want to be doing 6 to 8 rep range. I see a lot of guys, most guys doing that, and doing some kind of double progression, 6 to 8 reps. It's not optimal for hypertrophy. If you want to talk about strength, that's a different story, but if you're talking about muscle growth, you need to have more time under tension. And to me, it makes sense intuitively too. I've done sets of 6 to 8. I've done it recently just to test it out. Even though I did it to complete failure, I couldn't do one more rep without cheating. I just felt totally unaccomplished, not fulfilled, as if I was leaving something on the table, because you're not actually exhausting the bicep as much as you can. So make sure you're doing the higher rep sets as well. All right, with that in mind, that leads us to tip number 3, which is the reverse pyramid. If you're doing straight sets when it comes to bicep, it doesn't make any sense. How can you do one set close to failure, that's 10 reps, and then do your second set that's also close to failure, that's also 10 reps? You shouldn't have the energy to do that if you actually went close to failure. This is why you incorporate the reverse pyramid. I don't hear this mentioned often enough. You want to go close to failure, but you also want to stay in the ideal rep range. If your first set was only 10 reps, which yes, falls in the ideal rep range, you should probably drop the weight at least 10%, maybe even more, so that your next sets will also fall under the ideal rep range. If you're hitting straight sets, something's not adding up, you're not doing something right. You want to be training close to failure, you want to be training in higher rep ranges, you got to reverse pyramid. It's as simple as that. Anyways, guys, please go implement these strategies. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you guys next time.